Hello, and welcome back to this series I'm doing where I talk about the Binding of Isaac. No, I don't. Well, sometimes I do. Where I talk and play the Binding of Isaac. And sometimes I talk about the Binding of Isaac. Anyway, today we will be discussing the Equal Rights Amendment and its history. And we'll also be playing Eden for the first time. And I will try to beat Satan, and this should, if I remember correctly, be the 5th time beating Satan, so I'll finally unlock the negative. Let's begin. Okay, well, I appreciate the bomb bag. Very useful, thank you. So, a quick little preamble here. I do not, I might actually take this. Keep this, rather. Quick little preamble. It is not my intention with this series to never discuss political topics. But when I do, I want to handle it with delicacy. Now, this is not a particularly controversial political topic, but it is definitely a political topic. I mean, the reason I'm talking about this at all is because it's in the news right now. I've said all this about keeping the anarchist cookbook here. I might... Okay, well, I was hoping to, get closer to a wall with that or something, but anyway. The Equal Rights Amendment is the proposed 27th Amendment to the United States Constitution. Oh. Huh. And, in effect, what it says, is that it eliminates all discrimination based on gender. Based on sex, specifically. Let me read you the full proposed 28th Amendment, the Equal Rights Amendment. In just 1 second. Oh. I played myself. Resolved by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States of America and Congress assembled, 2/3 of each house concurring therein, that the following article is proposed as an amendment to the Constitution of the United States, which shall be valid to all intents and purposes as part of the Constitution when ratified by the legislatures of 3/4 of the several states within 7 years of the date of its submission by the Congress. Okay. Article. Section 1. Equality of rights under the law shall not be denied or abridged. That's a lot of bombs, wow. By the United States or by any state on account of sex. Ooh. I think I'll take this for the moment. This would be a really nice beast run, which I have to do eventually. But again, I'd like the planetarium unlocked first. But this is so convenient. Section 2. The Congress shall have the power to enforce by appropriate legislation the provisions of this article, and Section 3, this amendment shall take effect 2 years after the date of ratification. So again, this proposed amendment would completely end any sex-based discrimination, and this includes cases of divorce, such as which parent the child might stay with. This also includes property rights and employment and even more. Oh, that works. You know, I always dig on the Dead Sea Scrolls in this game, but maybe it's not so bad after all. And one last quick thing while I waste time here. Ooh. Now, the United States already has protections for equal pay under the Equal Pay Act of 1963, which sought to make gender-based discrimination in wages illegal at a federal level. However, in practice, this didn't really work. It helped, but even today in the United States, there is a pay gap between men and women. It's just that it is no longer explicitly the difference between men and women. It's usually stated as being because of other reasons. It is more so the fact that it is a strong correlation that there is a slight pay... Oh yeah, I can go down there. More that it's a correlation that there's a difference in pay generally across some fields of employment between men and women. Now, why is this relevant? Well, President Biden, who has an entire 2 days left in office, including today, yesterday, Friday, January 17th, 2025, President Biden declared the amendment official, except he doesn't really have the authority to do that. So what's going on here? What's he talking about? So let's start off. Yeah, okay. Let's start off with the history of the Equal Rights Amendment. It's more interesting than you'd think, in my opinion at least. So, the history actually starts back in the 1920s. And yeah, I'll check out what's in here. So, back in the 1920s, we had the first wave of feminism in the United States, which culminated in the 19th Amendment, which guarantees voting rights for women, specifically that voting rights can't be discriminated based on sex. Where is my item room? However, during that same movement, it was believed by the National Women's Party that the 19th Amendment would not be enough to truly eliminate discrimination based on sex in general. So they drafted an early version of what is now the potential 28th Amendment. I hope this is good. Well, it's not, so I'll take it twice, I guess. Ooh. Well, I got one of the hard ones. Now, as it turns out, this proposed amendment that would make it wrong to discriminate against women in general across all fields actually was not very popular in Congress for many years, in fact. and I would encourage you to hold off on any reservations you might have about assigning blame until you hear the full details. And I am introducing the topic as far as all the history goes first. I will be discussing who is for and against it and why in a bit. But just for the sake of history, the next notable event in the life of this Equal Rights Amendment comes in the 1940s. So while World War II is happening, you know, there is an unlock for having Bob's rotten brain kill me. It may happen. There we are. Wow. Okay, so in the 1940s, World War II is going on, and a lot of the American male workforce is away. Wonder why that is. And so a lot more women enter the workforce, and there's a lot more interest in women's rights because of it. Oh, almost 800. Very nice. An alternative was made to the Equal Rights Amendment that states, no distinctions on the basis of sex shall be made, except such that are reasonably justified by differences in physical structure, biological differences, or social function. This version was not popular at all. It wasn't popular even among people that supported the Equal Rights Amendment. And yeah, I guess I'll continue. Then, between 1940 and 1960, I hate early items in this game. Thank you, Bob. Thanks. What a wonderful run. Well, I mean, all of the good unlocks are later into the game's progression, right? I suppose it makes sense. Anyway, 1940 to 1960. Bob. Due to the growing support for women's rights and equality. Whoa. There is a renewed interest in the amendment itself that culminates in 1972 when the amendment is finally put before Congress. Bob, thank you. Sorry, not finally put before Congress. As it turns out, the amendment was put before Congress every single year since, I believe, 1921. Get him, Bob. Thank you, Bob. Just that finally in 1972, was it adopted by both the House and the Senate. Meaning that starting in 1972, and according to the preamble of the proposed amendment itself, it would have 7 years to be ratified by 3/4 of the states. 3/4 being 38. Ultimately, it only ever reached 35 states that ratified it, and there's some controversy here as well, because 5 and eventually 6 states would rescind the amendment. However, there is no it's unclear if that's something states are even able to do. But regardless, since 1979, which is when the deadline came to a close, Bob. Thank you, Bob. Since the 1979 deadline, as late as the year 2020, the 38th state finally ratified this potential amendment, which has led to some controversy. That was Virginia in, again, 2020, and now there are 6 states, though, that have rescinded it. Okay. I'm not sure what to do. I guess I'll keep going forwards. Now, it is important to note that 25 states already have protections within their state constitutions against sex-based discrimination. Many of these... Okay. Many of these were adopted in the 1970s, along with the... when the original Equal Rights Amendment made its way through Congress. But some of these state constitutions have protections for women that go back, or protections against sex-based discrimination, rather, that go back to even the 1800s. So this, despite what it may seem, America is not a place where women have never had rights. Now, let's talk a bit about who is for the amendment and why. So, the amendment actually saw a lot of support from the Republican Party in the 1940s. Oh, I have a soul heart. Cool. However, that Republican Party support would die off in the 1980s for reasons I will get to shortly, and the Democratic Party would champion it from there on after. Oh, man. Get him. Thank you. Yeah, I'll keep donating. And I'll blow you up. Now, main proponents of the Equal Rights Amendment were middle-class women, and only middle-class women, at least initially. But, let's see. Oh, okay, I'm gonna need to focus a bit here. I really, really don't want to lose my, Angel Room chance here. Thank you, Bob. Whoa. Okay. Bob, get him. No, I wanted you to get more than just one, Bob. Okay, this is manageable. Ruth Bader Ginsburg in 1973, who would go on to become one of the United States Supreme Court justices. Okay, there we go. Bob, get him! Bob is always so slow on the uptake. Ruth Bader Ginsburg is quoted as saying... Whoa. Oh, Bob! Bob! Yeah, I'm not getting any... well, this is probably... Die, 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 die! I wanted that heart. Okay, Ruth Bader Ginsburg in 1973 is quoted as saying, "The Equal Rights Amendment in sum would dedicate the nation to a new view of the rights and responsibilities of men and women. It firmly rejects the sharp legislative... the sharp legislative lines between the sexes as constitutionally tolerable. Instead, it looks toward a legal system in which each person will be judged on the basis of individual merit and not on the basis of unalterable traits of birth that bear no necessary relationship to need or ability." And also famously, actually, what am I even looking for? I already have everything that I need. Famously, Shirley Chisholm, a New York state representative in 1970. Thank you. Has a rather famous speech regarding the Equal Protections Act. Get him, Bob. Thank you, Bob. But one important part that I am pulling out of her speech, great, Curse of the Blind. I love it. I love to see it. This is just so great for me. One part of her speech that I found to be unique amongst the rhetoric for people that were in support of the Equal Rights Amendment is her statement that laws protecting women from unsafe working conditions could be extended to also protect men, so it is in the best interests of everyone to support the Equal Rights Amendment. Now, let's talk about some of the figures against. Not just some of the figures, but also their rhetoric. So, who was against the Equal Rights Act, or the Equal Rights Amendment? I keep getting the name confused, and I'm not sure why. Whoa. Well, Bob, I'll take it. Thank you, Bob. Well, it received early opposition from a lot of working class women. Keep in mind, this amendment was mainly proposed by middle class women, for the sake of middle class women. Working class women saw the situation be something like this. There were already a number of protections for women in the workforce, such as having shorter hours, no night work, and sorry, focusing. Really? Teleport? Okay, well, no need to focus. Shorter hours, no night work, and no heavy lifting. Thank you for that. I'm gonna go ahead and blow these up. And the fear amongst the opposition was that getting rid of, advocating for gender-based equality in all things would actually remove a lot of these protections from women. That was a mistake. I am still looking at my notes. I have a lot of notes for today, if you couldn't tell. There you are. Get him, Bob. Okay, other people against. There was a major... what am I even doing here? I'm not sure why I'm looking at that. I think I will actually change my goal after all and go after the beast. It's just too good right now. All things considered. Because I do need... Let me double check this. Yes, I do need to beat the beast as Eden in order to unlock one of the challenges. So let me change the goal text. There we go. Good as new. Just ignore anything that you may think you have seen earlier. Don't worry about it. The goal was always written like that. There was a major push for family values and more traditional gender roles, which served as the main opposition to... Oh, well, there's a donation machine. Served as the main opposition to the Equal Rights Amendment. I will do this a few more times, because I believe I have the hearts. No, this is mine. There we go. There will come a day soon when I no longer have to donate. Oh yeah, I need to redo this room. So as it turns out, a significant portion of the American population, although not a majority, heavily focused on more traditional gender roles and family values, quote-unquote, that would insist that women have to have some protection. Thanks. You know, I will take that. And insist that women have to have some amount of protection in the workforce, and must be one big fear in particular, okay, of the... Thanks, Red Mom. Bob is gonna get me killed. Absolutely. One major fear that is constantly repeated is that if equality of sexes is guaranteed in all things constitutionally, then women will have to start being drafted, or will be otherwise conscripted. There are also fears that certain interpretations of... Thank you, Bob. Weird, but I think I'll take it. And now watch this magic. I don't need the Polaroid or the negative, but I do still, so I'll get those later. I want these. These are mine. Just so you know. Oh, thank you, Bob. Bob. You cheeky little guy. If only I had tears or something other than Bob as my main weapon. This is gonna be so slow, isn't it? The devil's good. Well, okay, not literally. It's a good card. Where's Bob when I need him? Thank you, Bob. Bob, I needed you earlier. Bombino, why did you give me a... Whatever. Okay, so when I have a moment to look again... There were also fears regarding the Equal Rights Amendment that it could be misconstrued, or not necessarily misconstrued, but could be interpreted in such a broad manner as to try to settle the abortion debate without actually directly settling the abortion debate. Wait, where? Nope. There we go. Why am I going around? Bob. Ugh. What a pitiful run this is. I think I say that every time. Yeah, I'll try. Come on. That's not bad. Okay. Finally, it's worth mentioning that on the side of the opposition, the reason that the Republican Party ultimately dropped... yeah, I'll just hold off on that. The reason the Republican Party ultimately dropped support was largely, although not necessarily entirely, due to... Uh-oh. Bob? Thank you, Bob. Was due to Phyllis Schlafly, a Missouri activist who spearheaded the anti-ERA movement in the 1980s. And she loved sticking it to the libs. You think that's a modern thing? Let's see, anything else? I guess not. Oh, but oh, right. Oh well. I guess this is the first time we're gonna hear this. This is gonna be fun.
I spent it. It's gone. Just get over it.
What do you mean? What do you mean it's gone? How can you have spent our savings?
Just for future reference, the one and only mod that I ever intend to install in this playthrough is the mod that removes this dialogue from the game. I will listen to it here and now once, and then I will remove it, because I recognize that it is very uncomfortable to some people who have had parents that have been divorced. Okay, let's see. I have one fly item. That would be 2. That's not worth it. That might... Oh, actually, that's a terrible combination with Bob. Now that I think about it. I don't particularly like either of those. Those aren't great either. I can still blow it up, I suppose. Bob. Thank you. Ow. Can I get a single penny, please? Oh, no! That was mine! That was mine! It was supposed to be mine! Little monster, not bad, actually. And yes, I will go up immediately. Let's see, now let's get into the legality of this particular amendment. So there is nothing wrong with the initial amendment itself. The issue is that in the preamble of the amendment, as I read... Oh... That could work to my favor. Now, if only I had a third... item to get me spun. No! I'm gonna rely entirely off of Little Monster and Bob's rotten head, aren't I? What a miserable existence. At the very least, even if I don't win, I'll unlock... Oh, I don't want Purple Heart. Even at the very least, I should still unlock Tainted Eden from this. My money, my money, my money. Oh, great, he's leveled up. Is this when he starts dropping bombs? Anyway, so the preamble of the amendment, as I read previously, stated that it needed to be ratified by 38 states within a period of 7 years, and that 7 years came to a close.
He's self-destructive and disturbed, just like his father. Look at who he has to look up to. And you're drunk again, aren't you?
Shut up, Maggie! Shut up! You just keep pushing me like this. I'm leaving.
Good. Leave! We'll be fine without you. Abandon us like you've abandoned yourself.
Ahem. So, again, that deadline came to a close in 1979, which is problematic. Now, it has been argued that it was only in the preamble of the amendment, but regardless, I personally lie more on the side of, Hold on. Focusing. Die already. Thank you, Bob. Yeah, I'm not really sure what I'm looking for here, if anything. Maybe I'm looking for nothing at all. Yeah, I'll use it after all. Come on. Okay. So is it alright that the fact that the 38th and final state needed to add this to the Constitution as an official amendment came, what, like 30 years too late? 46. No, I'm thinking to the current year. That's not right. Hold on, I can't do math right now. I'm really good at math, trust me. Ow. So the final state to ratify it, again, was Virginia in 2020, I believe, which means that it only came 41 years too late. I personally lie more on the air of the fact that this should not be allowed, simply on the grounds that, you know, the reason why it was ratified in the first place was because of that clause. There is no guarantee that it would have been ratified at all if it did not have that initial clause.
You need to repent. You need to confess your sins and become saved. Let his light inside you cleanse your soul.
You are insane. You are taking this too far. Did you hear how you sound?
Pray with me. Pray for your salvation. Come, pray with us, Isaac.
Okay. Man, this is awkward. I apologize. I do feel that it's important to listen to this entire, argument play out at least once, but it is my intention to let it only play out exactly once. Whoa. Come on. Give me, I'm trying to destroy the guy here. Well, at this rate, I'll just kill him. There. So the way that the actual ratification process works is something like this. If you are not familiar with this, or if you aren't from the United States at all, before an amendment can be made official, it must first be passed through Congress, both the House of Representatives and the Senate, and then after that is done, it needs to be ratified by a 3/4 majority of the states. Yes. Wait a minute. What? Well, hold on. Am I doing this? Hold on. Have I done something horribly wrong here? Oh, no. The first time I reach it, right. Okay, never mind. We're good. I got a little confused as to how the beast works the first time. Well, not the beast itself, but the ascension works the first time you do it. I have cleared up my own confusion. We are good. Bob? Oh. Oh. Okay, so after it is ratified by 3/4 of the states, then in order to become an official amendment of the United States Constitution, there is one last step. The National Archivist, which is a role as part of the executive branch, needs to make it official. And here we run into an issue. Not that there's anything wrong with the National Archivist, but the National Archivist deferred to the Justice Department's Office of Legal Counsel in regards to whether... I've gotten very lucky with some of those. In regards to whether or not this should be allowed as an official amendment, despite the fact that, you know, it's a little past the deadline it set for itself. Of course, the amendment still has a lot of support, but the question is this legal? Is it right? And again, the Justice Department and the National Archivist both say, no, if you want to add an amendment constitutionally protecting women's rights in general, anti-discrimination laws entirely, then what you're looking for is a new amendment. Even Ruth Bader Ginsburg agrees on this. That, to paraphrase her, it's better to start over this whole process. Oh. I don't... Yeah, I've only collected one book, right? Yeah. It's better to start this process over. Really? Thanks. Then to continue with it as is and insist that there is nothing wrong with the states being 41 years late. Because...
Where are you going? Wait!
Now he's in his final form.
Your son needs you!
I'm doing more harm than good. I just can't do this anymore. I'm sorry.
Please don't leave us!
I'm sorry.
So again, Ruth Bader Ginsburg believes it's better to restart this process than to try to force through an amendment that is 41 years past the deadline that it set for itself to be ratified by, saying that, again, since 6 states have rescinded it, the number isn't really 38, it's 32, even if... So the reason why that matters is because it's not stated in the Constitution whether states can rescind their votes for amendments. It is simply not addressed, which leaves the floor open to debate as to whether or not that's even possible. And the argument is that, well, it should not be possible, that it's okay if 6 have rescinded it because they initially approved it, they initially ratified it. Oh, wow. Which means they just barely meet that number. So this should be the red key. Yeah. Tainted Eden, and one of the challenges unlocked. What's it gonna be? Oh. No thanks. So again, this whole situation is problematic. Because we have an amendment that, although the majority of the United States population believes should be ratified, okay, I want to be conscientious about my health here. So again, the majority of the American people agree this should be ratified. That is very loud. Well, I'm getting more and more damage at least. The fact of the matter is, it is well past its deadline. Even though the deadline is in the preamble, it's still not a great look. It is absolutely not going to be legally convincing to everyone, is one way to put it. And now we come to what happened recently, in which President Biden announced that it is officially the amendment, the 28th Amendment, even though he has no capacity to do this. Does that mean that he is overriding the opinions of the Department of Justice, that it shouldn't be allowed? Or is he merely showing support? Is this just posturing? It's unclear, unfortunately. Oh, I should have watched that. Oh well. Perhaps next time. Sorry for the not talking so much. I'm focusing. And man, is this... I have the ability to win. It'll just be difficult. Anyway, I know that this is technically a political discussion, and I don't like having political discussions too much, but this is not that controversial either, because again, it's an amendment that the majority of the American populace supports. Even the Republican Party previously showed a lot of support for it, although, you know, time has certainly passed. But it's not in great legal standing right now to try and force this through, all things considered. So, with President Biden's final few days in office, he has decided to say that it is official, even though it is completely unclear what he really even means by that. If he is officially trying to overrule the opinion of the Justice Department and Office of Legal Counsel. Yikes. Okay. Cool. Okay, that panic equals power, I think, is what's really carrying me right now. That and the little horn. But let's see if I can't survive death here, because this might get tricky. I don't think I'll be able to defeat death quickly enough here to avoid getting hit. Haha, die. Oh, that was close. Okay. I think it's a win now. The rest of this is pretty easy. Anyway, just thought I'd study up on some recent news and figure out what's going on and why. I think the historical context is important and fascinating, and I hope you agree. Whether or not you were American, even. Oh. Forgot about those. Come on. There we... No? Still? Youch. I always forget about that stage. Come on, there we go. Finally. Now I just need to not die to a stalactite. Always with the close victories.
The sky above cracked open, and a white beam of light reached down into the earth, smiting the mother of harlots asunder and setting the blood lake to a boil. As the beast descended down into the lake of fire, Isaac ascended towards the crack in the sky, and as he flew, he could see echoes of his past before him. He saw his mother mourning the loss of her son. He saw his father leaving them without turning to say goodbye. He saw his mother sleeping and his father taking money from her purse. He heard the late-night fights they had that kept him up at night, and the guilt he felt for what he believed he was causing. He felt the pain in his stomach during those sleepless nights, and saw his shadow in the closet waiting for him. As he rose, he felt his fears drop from his body, his shame, his worry pulled from his being. As he became lighter, his ascent became faster. He saw his one true companion alive and well. He saw his mother and father together again, holding each other. He felt his mother kissing him on the head after he had said his prayers, and the comfort in knowing someone was watching over him. He saw his own birth, and the faces of his parents filled with joy and optimism. And then he saw nothing. Are you sure this is how you want this story to end, Isaac? You're the one writing it. It doesn't have to end this way. Here, how about we tell it a different way? Maybe a happy ending?
Okay, Daddy.
Good. Are you getting sleepy yet?
Yeah.
Okay, so Isaac and his parents lived in a small house on the top of a hill.
And there we have it. The Everything Jar. Thank you for watching. I hope that you learned something today, in spite of how dry this topic was to some people, and how much I stumbled over myself while trying to read my 2 pages of brief notes while playing a video game that requires a lot of focus. Anyway, take care, and I'll see you tomorrow.